You're right, guys. So in this video, you're going to look at doing your backgrounds for your picture. Okay. What I would say is first, just decide on what your character is doing. That's the main thing. So think about what they're doing. Are they flying? Are they running like this one? Are they jumping? Are they swinging on a rope? Whatever you want to do, that's absolutely fine. But sketch out your character first. Again, and what I've done is I've put in your pack this picture so that you can see, again, you started with the circle and then the lines joining up to the joints of the like shoulder, the elbow, the wrists, and just sort of how we lay out the character basically. So have a think about that first. When you come to doing your background, you want to think about obviously what position your character is going to be in. For this one, obviously this character is running at us. It looks dynamic. We've got this leg here, which is more nearer to us, so it's bigger. This one behind is off in the distance a little bit. It's planted behind him, so this would be sort of shaded in when you come to actually putting all the color in and stuff onto it. Okay, so obviously this hand's bigger, this one's smaller, but we know that the character is doing something dynamic, is coming out at us rather than looking like he's flat on the page. So if we think about a background for this, if we did the city, if we were doing like a little town, what I would say is start with a line across, and again you'd use a ruler for this, but I'm just going to do it really quick, guys. Okay, this is our horizon line, so we're going to use that, and then you're going to do a point. Now the point is a vanishing point. A vanishing point basically means we don't see anything past that point. Now all we're going to do is a line that comes up and it gets bigger as it goes towards the end of the page. So if you look, it goes down smaller and smaller to meet that point, and then you do the same on the other side. And this is just an example. You can do it in different ways as well, but just for this. Okay, so and then do the same again with one underneath. It starts off small and then gets bigger. And then if we add it that this is the road, we'd have lines getting bigger, bigger, bigger as it comes up. Yeah. And this could be like the pavement, but we'll get to that in a minute. So what you want to try and do now is look at when we're drawing buildings and things. So if I take a line and just go straight down, again you'd use a ruler for this, but you go up to meet the top of that line, you follow it across, and then you come away from it, okay? And then you come down like that, and then you can put in your windows of your building. And again, for everything you do, you would join it down very lightly with a pencil. You wouldn't do this with a pen either, but I'm just showing you so that you can sort of see how it all works. And then your windows would sit on top of that line, and then you do the same again so that it all sort of lines up a bit. If you're doing buildings as well, you tend to find that they're not all the same size, they're all different shapes and stuff, so you could have one big, one sort of smaller. Again, that would come down to meet that point. All right, and then you just keep going. So if you wanted one that's bigger than that, then you draw a line that goes up, you carry on up, and that would bend back. That would all be shaded. That would probably be shaded there. And then you'd go along and then back down again. All right. So you can see straight away now that we're starting to build like the little town. It's not looking flat on the page. We're giving it a bit of perspective, basically, that it's all sort of, he's running through the city and there's different things going on. Again, you'd make one, you could do one bigger again, so you draw another line up, It would go off the page. Bend that back. Go down. And you just keep going, guys. So you'd have like smaller ones. You know, you haven't got to draw all massive buildings. You get some that are small, so you do like one down there if you wanted to, and then bend that back. And you can do the same there. This is the like pavement area. So you'd have like lampposts. This one you'd be able to see more of. And further down you get, the smaller they get, until you can't really see anything. Yeah, so it just basically it just gets bigger. There's more detail here because we can see more of it. And then the further it goes down the page, the less you can see. You can just see like rough detail basically. And yeah, that's pretty straightforward really. And then you do the same on the other side if you wanted to put in, you know, whatever on that side, more buildings, or you could put some cars in there, whatever. What you would find, you tend to find that a lot of people, when they draw cities, they will just draw like that sort of shape. And I'll just draw like little shapes like that, and then they colour it in, they put a couple of little windows in there. But again, it looks flat. It looks flat on the page, that, compared to this. You could draw these sort of shapes behind the character, so off in the distance back here. That's absolutely fine, but we want to make it look more dynamic with more stuff going on than just that. So try and avoid doing that, and sort of think about that horizon line and the vanishing point, and yeah, just your lines coming up. All right, and then you can start adding in more detail, like there might be sort of, you know, like stuff coming out of the picture where he's landing his foot or whatever. So again, I've got another example there just underneath of like a sketched out Batman a little bit with some stuff going on behind him. Obviously he's got different sized buildings, and you can see that like some of this in shade. You've got part of this building's in shade there. Light source would be coming, you know, it might be street lights or whatever, either be coming from there or up, so that you can see this part's in the shade. And then you've got buildings off in the distance as well, but they're all more sort of dynamic than that sort of flat shape that I said, where it's just like that. We could do that, but it's not gonna jump off the page at you. Whereas with this, look, you've got part of a building here. So that's if you were looking to do a sort of city perspective for your character. Again, there's loads of different things you could do. If we were thinking about maybe doing like a space scene, so if we had our character who's flying out at us, so we'll draw the fist. I'll draw another one there, so he's flying with two hands up. Head would be back here because again it's that perspective thing. So the head would be smaller, see part of the body, and then down, might have one leg up, one leg off to the side. What I would say is to make it more dynamic, if it's in space, you'd maybe put something in the corner, like a little planet. So like a curved line, like a long stretched out sealer, and then you put a little bit of plant, you know, like where the land is or whatever, and there. And then you could have like a planet behind him there. You could have a space station or a satellite. Or you could have like a comet just zooming past, coming out. So again, just all rough, but that's what you want to be looking at doing, is just sort of sketching it out in rough and just seeing how you get on with that. And then yeah, you might put another planet or something there, or some like meteorites or whatever, just floating through space. or a rocket, whatever you want. It's just like giving you some ideas. But I would always say to put something in the corner, either down at the bottom or up here at the top, because it catches the eye. If your character's doing something like this where they're coming out at us, hence that, this, we know that this is already jumping out towards us because this is smaller, it's in perspective. So, and obviously the leg are like right behind. So by having these sort of things in the corners, having something going on in the corners, I mean, you could even draw like a satellite or whatever, or a rocket in the corner if you wanted. And it just gives it that sort of more dynamic thing going on in your background. Yeah, it's not just, all right, we're just going to draw a planet behind him. I'll just draw a basic quick circle. But if we did another example where, you know, you draw the circle and then you have your character sort of stood on top of the planet, like, you know, it doesn't look very dynamic, not a lot going on with that. So remember, try and get something into one of the corners. Don't put it in all the corners. I say choose one, and then maybe something in, like, if you did one up there, then I'd put something in the bottom corner over here, like not a planet. If I did a planet up there, I'd maybe put a meteorite or a comet, or again, that space station, whatever you want, rocket. I just wouldn't put two planets either corner, all right? Lastly, if you were doing like mountains or things, mountains, they're pretty straightforward. Again, you can just sort of use that horizon line and you just come up with a zigzag. And what I would say is don't make them the same sort of size, so don't sort of zigzag it so it all goes like that, because that doesn't look like much going on. What you could do is do like one smaller that slopes down, and then one that comes up a bit more, goes up, and then down, and then down again, and it gets smaller as it disappears off if our vanishing point was like there. And then you could put some trees in if you wanted as well. And then you keep going. So everything that'd be in the foreground, it'd be bigger, and then as it meets that, it gets smaller. All right, so just have a little go. Again, you can use the one in the pack, the character running, but then have a few goes on your own of like just sketching out your sort of basic stickman figure. Again, try and remember those dynamic poses that we did. You know, you're bend this line down, come across with the shoulder, and just sort of have a few goes at what you want your character doing. All right, so yeah, just have a little go, guys. And again, just remember that everything you do, when it heads towards that vanishing point, it'll get smaller. So it starts off big near the edge, and then as you get small, as it goes towards a vanishing point, you just hardly anything you would see, just like, you know, a few little lines if you was doing trees, or, you know, there might be like a little log cabin back there or whatever, so you just really rough. All right, so have a little go, guys, anyway, and yeah, hopefully it goes okay. Thank you.